friends, now we will learn what is if function. Now if is one of the logical functions and you can solve numerous queries with the help of that. Now in this current example, we'll see how to calculate total, percentage, minimum, maximum and the result. Now what is the condition for the result? The passing mark should be 40 in all the subjects. If it is 40, then it should show pass, otherwise it should show fail. Now how do we do that? With the help of if function. Now we'll simply calculate the total. So is equals to sum, and this will be the range. So that is the range from C2 to E2. For percentage, I'll use average. For minimum, I'll use min, that is the function. So minimum of all the subjects will appear here, right? Suppose the minimum is, the list is 50, so 50 will appear here. Suppose he has scored only 12 marks, so it will appear 12, that is the minimum. And max will give us the max function. So what is the maximum number, right? I'll drag this, so it will apply to all. Percentage is not the percentage format, it's just an average, so that's okay. All right, now here comes the function called, okay, that is maximum. Let me just drag it. There's some problem. Let me type is equals to max, and this is the range. Yeah, and I'll drag it again. Yeah, so here I'm getting all the maximum numbers, right? So the maximum is 60, so I'm getting 60. The maximum is 40 because all three are 40. So maximum, minimum, both are 40. Suppose if I make this 20 and I'll make this 60. So the minimum will be 20 and maximum will be 60. Now here comes the result, and that is the if function I was talking about. Now the passing criteria is 40. How do we do that? So is equals to if. Now it is asking for a logical test. Now that is the criteria that we can give to if function. Now what is the logical test? We have only one logical test, only one criteria, that the minimum marks in all the subjects should be 40 in order to clear. Now what is the minimum marks? We have already calculated minimum in H2. So what I'll do, H2 greater than equal to 40, comma. Now this is the logical function I have given. If H2 is greater than equal to 40, right? Because if it is equal to 40, it is passed. If it is greater than 40, it is passed, right? So H2, which is the minimum already of all the three subjects, which is greater than equal to 40, then if it is true, it's asking me, the if function is asking me value if true. So if this is the condition, if this condition is true, then what? And value if false. If this condition is false, then what? So if this is true, then it should show me pass. Now how do we write pass? We'll write pass in inverted comma. If it is not true, then fail. I'll close the bracket, and what I'll do, I'll just drag it, right? Now not only that, I'll give a condition formatting as tags that contain and fail. The fail should be highlighted in the red, right? Now see, we'll see 12 minimum is less than 40 in one subject, so he's fail. Suppose if I make it, let's say 50, so he's pass. Now here minimum is, this is 39, so fail. Let me make it 41, so he's pass, right? Now let's fail someone 45, 54 and 59, so let me make it 19, so he's failed, right? So this is how we can calculate if functions, giving a logical test, and we have two parameters, that is pass or fail. Please try that yourself. Thank you so much. Now we will learn some advanced if. Now if, as we have already seen, if has one logical test and two parameters, that is pass or fail, that we gave in our current last example. Now suppose if you have more than one logical test, suppose if you have more than one criteria, as in the given case, it's asking me the passing mark should be 40 plus the student should be present in all the subjects as well. Now how do we do that? So for that we'll add count, right? So what count will do? Count is going to calculate all the digits for us. Suppose if he is present in the subjects and if he scored something, so it will count the tags. And what I'll do, I'll drag it. Suppose if somebody is absent, let's say he was absent, AB absent, so I'll write absent AB for absent. So the count is saying only 2. Why? Because count is not counting the tags, it is counting only the digits. So this is how I can come to know that somebody has not appeared in any of the tests, because that is one of the criteria that a student has to be present in all the subjects. Somebody is not present, then the count will be less than 3. So this will be the criteria. Now I have two criteria. The minimum should be 40 and above, and the count should be 3 to pass. Now is equals to if it's giving me only one logical test. How do I add more logical tests into that? So what I'll do, I'll use AND. So within if I'll use AND to add more logical function. Now what is the first? Minimum. Now that has to be greater than equal to 40, comma. I'll add another logical test. This is count. It has to be equals to 3, right? I'll close the bracket and I'll put comma. Now that's a logical test over. Now I have two logical tests, which is the minimum of all the marks should be greater than equal to 40, and the count should also be 3. If this both the conditions clears, then it is pass, otherwise fail. I'll close the bracket. See, so wherever if you can see 2, 0, this all is fail, right? And again we can give the condition formatting as tags that contain fail, it will be. Now let's evaluate. Suppose let's say this has 40, 40, 40, right? So it's showing pass. Suppose if I make it 99, 99, and let's one blank, so the count is less than 3, so it's failed, right? Once this blank is like maybe is absent, or there is no record for that, right? So there has to be a digit. Suppose if somebody has got 87, 87, and he was present but he got 0, right? But because he was present, he got 0. The count will be 3, but the minimum will become 0. So the minimum has to be 40 in all the subjects to pass the exam. So this is how we can use AND. We'll also see one of the more interesting examples in the same one. Suppose this is the scenario where I have 3 criteria, right? The total should be 150. Now, what was the previous criteria? Minimum mark should be 40 and present in all the subject, which is count should be 3, plus the total. Here the total should also be 150, right? So then only it will clear. So what will I do is equals to if and the first is minimum greater than equal to 40. That's the first criteria. Then I'll use this J2 equals to 3 is another criteria, and the total, it should be greater than equal to 150. I'll close the bracket, comma. If these all 3 conditions fulfill, then the student is pass, otherwise fail. So I'll write that in the inverted. Okay, so this is how I got the answer. Now let me see that, and I can add a tags like tags that contain fail. Right, now suppose somebody has scored 99, 99 and 1. So 1 is like less than this minimum will be less than 40, so fail. This 99, 19 and 13 less than 40, fail. 40, 40, 40. So all present and present in all 3 subjects, right? Plus 40, but the total is only 120. So he is again failed, right? He has to score 60 here, 70 here in order to pass. So see, it's just converted. So this is how you can add and add more criterias to your answer. Please try that. Thank you so much. In this video, we'll see how to use if and or together. Now in the same example, we'll add some criteria. Is equals to if, and I'm putting or instead of and function. Now for us, H2, that is a minimum, if it is greater than 40, and F2, that is a total, if it is H2 is greater than 40 and F2 is also greater than 200. In this case, now this is both is the case, it's fail, otherwise it's pass. Now let's see if both the criteria it's giving option, right? So whether this or that, so it is giving an option for the fail and pass things, not like and means all should be clear, and or is actually giving an option to get the answer as pass and fail. Please try it yourself once. Now we'll see how to use not along with if. In the same example, I'm using if and not together, and let's see our K2, which is our result. If it equals to pass. Then it will be pass, otherwise it will be blank. So the blanks will show, it will show false here wherever it is pass. Now I can edit this, I can make it fail, so it will show me a different result. Suppose those who are fail, it will be showing false, and those who are pass, it will be showing, it will not be showing false, it will be showing blank. So this is how you can use not along with if. Please practice it yourself. Thank you. Friends, now we will learn how to use multiple ifs together. That's called nested if. Now so far we have seen what if is. If has the logical function, that's the criteria, and two parameters as we used to write pass and fail. Now if we had more criteria, so we used to use and along with if to get more criterias and get the same answer as pass or fail. But suppose if the parameters are more, suppose I don't only want to write pass or fail, but I also want to write pass with first class, pass with distinction, right? So this is the case, like 39 and below fail, 40 and above pass, 60 and above first class, 70 and above distinction. Now how do we do that? Right, so here are the marks. So we will use multiple if. So is equals to if this cell greater than equal to 70, then I'll write distinction. Right, so what I have written B2 is greater than equal to 70. That's the first condition. So if it is greater than equal to 70, that's a logical test, comma, value of true, it will show as distinction. Now it's asking me for value of false. So what I'll do, I'll not write value false. What I'll do, I'll start another if, right? So I'll start another if. Again the same one, B2 greater than equal to 60. Then it is first class, comma, right? Now I'll write another if, B2 greater than equal to 40, then pass. Now I have another option, I can use another if, but I don't want to use for if. What I'll do, I'll just close it. I'll just close it at value false. So in all the scenario, if it is not distinction, not first class, and not pass, then it is fail. So what I'll do, I'll write fail. And I'll close the bracket thrice because I have opened three ifs. Now if you can see, it is more than 70, so distinction. Suppose if it is 70, of course it will be distinction. Less than 70, so it is first class, right? That is 60 and above first class. Then if I have less than 60, let's say 55, so it is just pass. Till 40 it is just pass. Now less than 40, 39, so it is fail. I got 12 marks, I'm fail. I got 15 marks, I'm fail, right? I got 45, then I'm pass. I got 65, then first class, 75, then distinction. Until 99 it will be distinction, right? So I'll drag it and this all will answer up here. Now why this different colors? Because all the time I have gone here and tags that contain different tags with different condition formatting, so I'm getting different options for that. So this is how you can use multiple parameters. Now if has only two parameters, value of true and value of false, that we used to use pass and fail, but we have multiple parameters, we can use multiple if like that. How we will use, we'll just revise. We'll use the logical test and the value of true. We'll not give the value of false. Comma, we'll start another if, logical test, value of true, logical test, value of true, and value of false, and three brackets close. Now this three bracket close for three if, and this fail applies to all three. So if it is not distinction, not first class, and not pass, it will be lead to fail. It will lead to fail, right? So this is how you can do nested if, that you just learn how to do that. Please practice that on your Excel. Thank you so much. Now we'll learn how to create a P&L account, that is profit and loss account, in Excel. Now we'll use if function. As I've already said, that if is a logical function that solves your numerous problems, right? So if you have understood that well, you will be able to do this as well. Now what is a P&L account? We have a debit side and the credit side. Credit side is all income and debit side is all expenses. If the income is more, then I should have the net profit here. If the expenses are more, then I have the net loss here, and the total should be same. So but then I can select this range and that range. If this range is more than this range, then the profit. Now in order to select the range, I can give the name to a range as well. Let's say suppose this, if I call it income, so how do I name it as income? Right, that we have seen that one cell has its name in the name box. Now the name of this is F4, if you can see F4 in the name box, right? So that's F4. Now what is F4? That's an intersection of the F column and the fourth row. Now this entire range of cells, they don't have name, so I can name this also. Now this is the income side, so I'll name it as income, and with that income I can use that INC income in the functions as well. Now I'll go to formula tab bar, that is the formula tab. I'll define name, right? So I'll define this name as income, right? I'll press OK, right? So what happens here is, see, this income is appearing in the name box, and if I select income, this is showing me the range of these cells, and to this I'll define name as expense, EXP. So I'll write the shortcut. So here the expense has become this, right? Now here, if there is a profit, this side is more, so I should have the profit. Now the total should be the same, so I'll write the total like this. Okay, now if this side is more, I should get the profit here. So what I'll use if, but I'll use the sum. Now sum of income, as we know what income is, right? Already we have calculated. Now if sum of income is greater than sum of expense, I'll write sum of expense, right? So if sum of income is, that's a logical test. If we are giving logical tests, if sum of income is greater than sum of expense, right, then what should happen? Then this minus this, then I'll write a sum of income minus sum of expense, otherwise blank, right? So again I'm getting 100 profit. Suppose if I increase the profit by 100 more, so I'm getting 200 as the net profit, right? Now this is how we got sum of income is more than sum of expense, then sum of income minus expense, otherwise blank. Now here what we can do for the net loss is equals to if substitute sum of expense is all expense, sum of expense is greater than sum of income, that's a logical test, then sum of expense minus sum of income, right, otherwise blank, right? Suppose if expenses has suddenly increases, suppose the salary is increased by 400, so what will happen? I'll get a loss, right? Loss of 200. So let me make it 1400. So here I'm getting loss, right? Now this is the profit side. So if the profit appears, I should have the profit, net profit written here. So again I can use the same logic, is equals to if sum of income is greater than sum of expense. If income is greater than expense, then only I should get net profit here. So I'll write net profit, otherwise blank. And here I'll write if sum of expense is greater than sum of income, then I should get net loss, otherwise blank. So here I'm getting net loss. Suppose if I increase the profit, let's say I'm increasing the gross profit by 300, so I'll make it 1000, so I'm getting a net profit of 100. So when there's a net profit will appear here. When there's net loss will appear here, right? If I reduce this, let's say I'll make it I'll reduce the income by, let's say, 600, so I'm making it 1000, so I'm getting 500 as loss. Suppose if I increase if I decrease the expenses by 500, right? Let's say first I decrease it by 400, I'll make it 1000, so I'm getting 100 loss. But if I decrease it by 100, now there's no profit, no loss, that's a break even, right? So I should not get either profit or loss written over here. So I'll control Z. So this is how we can calculate with the help of if function that our profit and loss account like that. Please try this. Thank you. And in this video, we'll learn how to calculate income tax slabs. Now, as I earlier said, that if is a fantastic logical function that makes various calculations possible. Now, this is the scenario where if the income is up to 2,50,000, then 0% tax, then the taxable amount, this is multiplied by 0%. So liability will be null. Then if more than 2,50,000 to 5 lakh, it is 10%. So this is C7 multiplied by this 10%. Then above 5 lakh, then 10 up to 10 lakh is 20%. So this multiplied by 20%, and on the balance it is 30%. So this will be multiplied by balance. This is the total of all this taxable amount, and this is the total of the tax liability. Now what is this? This is actually B3, that I have merged it with C3 and D3. So the cell name remains B3. Here I'm going to put my income, right? Now how would I calculate this? With the help of if function, right? So let's see. Is equals to if B3 is greater than 2,50,000. Then I want 2,50,000 here. Otherwise B3 itself, right? So here I am getting the answer like that. If it is not more than 2 lakh, then I'll get the B3 itself. Suppose the income is 2 lakh only, right? So I'll get 2 lakh here, right? So this is how I have calculated. Now here for this one, what we'll do, we'll write if function if B3 is greater than 5 lakhs. Then what is the amount? If it is yes, then I want 2,50,000 here. Otherwise B3 minus C6, which is the above calculation, and I'll get 2,50,000 as the answer here, and 10% is this. And in the current case it is more than 5 lakh, right? So I'm getting 2,50,000, 10% tax. What about the balance? How will we do this one? So let's see. Is equals to if B3 is greater than, now this time I'll write 10 lakhs. If it is greater than 10 lakhs, I want the answer is 5 lakhs. Otherwise B3 minus C6 minus C7. I'll close the bracket. So I'm getting this as a balance. Now what is on the balance? How would we calculate that? So if B3 is greater than 10 lakh, then B3 minus C6 minus C7 minus C8, otherwise 0. Otherwise 0. So this is how I'll get the answer. In the current case, it is more than 10 lakh, that is 15 lakhs, so balance is 5 lakhs. Suppose if it is 14 lakhs, so balance will be 4 lakh, will be taxed 30%, right? Suppose the income is less than 10 lakhs, let's say it is 9 lakh. So I'll be taxed only on 4 lakh, that is the balance after 5 lakhs, right? Suppose the income is only 50,000, so I'll be taxed nothing. So this is how I can have the various calculations on different tax slabs. You can amend the same as per your country's tax slab, and you can have your income tax calculation done right on your Excel, right? So I hope you have enjoyed it. Please try it yourself. Thank you so much.